Hello, my wonderful people. I do welcome you to my YouTube channel. My name is Edward Amwakon, and I take this opportunity to say a very big thank you to all my free 5 days Photoshop class. In fact, I'm really overwhelmed and happy for the amazing good works that you are doing. All that I will say is to keep it up, and please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, subscribe, and hit on the notification bell for you to be notified anytime we drop new video. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to design a simple Thanksgiving flyer for your church. You can change the name of the church, the location, and do it your own church. You can do it for your church. This is a social media flyer. So without wasting much ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so this is my Photoshop. So for us to start designing, all that we need to do is to set our background. Okay, so this is Photoshop 2021. If you are using Photoshop CC, which is 2019, CS6, any other version of Photoshop can work. Okay, so if you are using CS6, you can use the file over here to select your paper or your background. Okay, so you go to file, you come to new, and then this is your preset settings where you have to select your measurement and all that. But because we are using it for social media purposes, we are going to go by 1080 by 1080. Okay, so we select this paper, which is 1080, and we are going to use pixels. Okay, make sure your unit is set to pixels, and then you can change the name to Thanksgiving flyer. Thanksgiving flyer. Okay, RGB, your color mode is RGB. Any other thing over here is okay. So you click on create new, and then you are in Photoshop. Okay, very good. So the very first thing that I want us to do is to set up our background. All right, so let's set our background. Okay, so to set your background, come to your solid color. We are going to use solid color. So you could see that all the 3 flyers that we have learned how to do, we are using solid color a lot. So you come to your layers side. Okay, don't forget that I said Photoshop uses layers very well. Okay, so you come to your layer panel down here. This is my background, the paper that I brought. So you come to your layer side, and then you come to the field or the solid color here. You click it, and then you select solid color. Okay, so we are going to put in this color code. Don't forget this color code. All right, so colors in Photoshop, they all have color code 550505 550505. Okay, which is a more like a brownish color. You click OK, then you bring in your the brush image or the brush. Okay, all the resources are in the description, don't forget that. So you come to your file. If you want to bring in any image, you come to your file, then you come to place embedded. If you are using CS6, it's place. Come to place embedded, and it will take you to your Photoshop or your computer where you need to look for your resources. So this is my assignment 3, and these are all my resources. Okay, these are all my resources. So we are going to bring in this brush or this background, this image. Okay, because it is all about Thanksgiving. All right, so I search in these images from Google. So if you want them, you can go to Google and then you will get them. So you click on it and you come and select place. Okay, to bring in the image. All right, very good. Then let me push my image up a little bit somewhere here and try to expand it so that it can fit in. Yes, try to expand it somewhere here. I think this is better. All right, and then come to your color mode. Okay, when you bring in the image, you come to your layer side, come to your color mode, and then we are setting it. You can set it to multiply, but I want us to set it to soft light. Okay, soft light, set it to soft light. Okay, let's pick soft light. Good. Then the last thing is for us to bring in our let me bring it up a little bit, to bring in our brush. Okay, onto this paper, so onto this background, come to your file, go to place embedded, and then we are bringing in this PNG brush or the paper, the tone paper. Double click it, and then you bring it, then you shift it down a little bit somewhere here. You can even pull it up a little bit. Okay, yes, this is beautiful. All right, yes, everything is okay. Okay, beautiful. All right, this is it. So this is our background. Okay, now after your background is set, the second thing that I want us to do is to learn how to group the background, and then we lock it so that it will prevent us from this moving here and there. Okay, so you come to your layer side, you select the tone paper, select the image, and then you select the solid color, and then you press Ctrl Gen on your keyboard, or you come to your layer side after you have selected all the background, and then you pick this folder here. This is the group folder. You click on it, and then you have grouped it. Then you double click on it to rename it background. All right, so after our background is set, you lock it. You click on this lock button here on your layer side to lock it in order to prevent it from moving. All right, so what is left for us is to bring in our text. So let's look at that. Okay, so let's bring in our text. Please don't forget that I said the resources, the images, the fonts, everything that you need for you to be able to design this are in the description. Okay, so these are your resources, everything, the fonts. So I used 3 fonts. Okay, almost about 3-4 fonts. I use Mortent, I use Poppies, I use Edinker, and then I use Georgia Brush. Okay, Georgia Brush. These are the fonts. I use almost about 4 fonts. Okay, this is approximately 4 fonts. All right, so let's go back to our Photoshop. Okay, all right, so for me to start bringing in the text, let me bring in the logo. Okay, so go to file, come to place, and then you bring in the church logo. Double click it, and then your church logo will be in. If you have not watched the video on how to remove background, please, you can watch that in my previous video. All right, so let's bring the church logo somewhere here. Let's position it very nicely. Okay, it's okay. Then we type in the name of the church. Okay, we type in the name of the church, Christ Glory Revealed Church. All right, so let me go for my text tool. So you come to your text tool, and then you select T, or you press Ctrl T. Okay, you just press T on the keyboard, and then automatically you select your text tool. So we are using Poppies. All right, then our color, change the color first to white. Okay, and then come and your font is okay, and then we are using bold. Okay, so let's start typing. You click on any part, then you start typing Christ Glory Revealed Church. Okay, then you reduce the font to somewhere 10. I think it's okay. Then you come and select your move tool. All right, then you position the text of your church very well. Let's activate the character. My character is here. If yours is not there, come to Windows, and then you come and click on character. Okay, then you can position the character here. You can just shift this one somewhere here. I mean, with Photoshop, you have every chance to do whatever that you want. Even the bold, I selected the T, so let me deactivate the T, and then maybe reduce the name of the church is too big for my liking. Reduce it, yes, and bring it here. I can even bring it down here, and then bring the the logo up here. Okay, let's bring the logo up here. Let me up a little bit. Yes, I think this is okay. So let me center the logo and then the name of the church to the background. Okay, so you come to layer side, you select the name of the church, you select the logo, and then you pick the background, and then you come to your alignment. Okay, the first one, you align it to the center so that everything is everything is at the center. So it is left with the present. You press on Ctrl J to copy the text, then you bring it down, then you change this text to regular. Okay, you can change it to regular, and then you type, you double click, and then you type in presents. Now I used different fonts for the presents, so if you don't know the name of the font, this is it. This is the font. The fonts Hardin Kerben. Okay, so all the fonts are in your description. Then let me increase it to somewhere 12, or yes, 12 is okay. Alright, so then let me space out, go to VA to space them out somewhere. Yes, something like this. I think it's okay. Yes, you see that mauve color, it tells me that it is at the center. Then I will leave it like this. I can even reduce it small. Yes, present Thanksgiving service. With the Thanksgiving, I will come and copy the font again, and then write Thanksgiving. They are all in capital letters. Thanks. Then the giving is different. You press on enter to go in for the Thanksgiving. Now the font that I used is in the description. I use Morted. This font, alright, Morted extra bold. Okay, you pick that one, then you increase the font to 30. Yes, let me increase the font to 30. You could see that my task and then the giving are, the spacing is too much. So I will come here, select auto. Still the spacing is too much for me. Then I will reduce it. I'll reduce the AA. This AA, by now you're supposed to know how we use for spacing. You close it up. One thing about designing is that when you select in, let me close it, is too much. Let me open it a little bit. Yes, this is okay. Yes, this is okay. Then let me reduce the font to 30. Let me pick 30. 36 is okay. Okay, all right. Okay, then I'll copy this church font again, and then change it to service. Thanksgiving service. All right, and then the font that I use is Georgia brush. Okay, they are all in the description. So you could see the Georgia brush is under the Thanksgiving, so you bring it up to the Thanksgiving on your layer side. You just have to drag it up. Okay, all right, then you change the color to yellow. All right, come and pick yellow here, drag it to the corner there. Yes, I think this yellow is quite okay. Yes, better, very nice one. All right, so I have set in this. All right, so let's look at how to bring in the night flare. Okay, just to make your design so catchy and flashy. All right, so let's look at that. Okay, all right, so let's bring in the lens flare. But before we will bring in the lens flare means the lightning and how flashy the work is. All right, so let me reduce this. Thanksgiving is too big for me. I don't know of you. I think 33 is quite okay. Position it to the center, and then let me reduce the service also, something like this. I think this is okay. Yes, I think this is okay. This is okay. All right, so let's bring in the lens flare. All right, so the lens flare, I'll click on this background. I want it to be on top of the background, so I'll click the background on my layer side, go to my file, go to place embedded, and then bring in first this one, the lens flare one. Double click it, and then you bring it to Photoshop. All right, now when you bring it, you could see the lens flare is darky. I mean, it looks so dark. So you double click to accept, and then you come to, still on the lens flare, but you come to your color mode where you see the normal. There is this arrow pointing down. Click it, and then you search in for screen. Screen means that you have taken away the black background in the lens flare. Okay, so that you to be left with only the flashy. You select that one, then now you can position it somewhere here. All right, you position it somewhere in the corner there. Then you could see that there is this, I can still see that box over there, which shows, I don't want this box thing to show. All right, it doesn't look professional. Okay, so I'll go and rasterize my lens flare in my layer side. All right, right click it, and then rasterize layer. Now, one of the meaning or the function of the rasterization is to make the image editable. Okay, let me go back. Now, if your image, anytime you bring in an image, you will see the image has this small thing over here. We call it thumbnail. It means this image is a smart object. All right, so you need to rasterize it first before you can, edit it. So when you rasterize, don't forget that you rasterize, and then you come to your tools. Come to your tools over here. This is move tool. Then you go in for this magic eraser tool. Right click it, and then you select the eraser tool. When you select the eraser tool, now your brush will come. You set it to brush. Okay, now as soon as you even select the eraser tool, there is an option at the top over here. You can see that the eraser to the mode is brush. Okay, so you come to this round icon that you see. If yours is not there, select it, then this thing will come. Make sure you reduce the highness to 0, then you increase the brush more. If yours is like this, select the general. Okay, you select the danger, then you pick the soft rounded. You pick it, and then you come to select the size. Okay, we want the size to be a little big, but the hardness, make sure it is 0. So it is like this. Then you come and brush that box thing over there. Yes, you brush it up, so that I don't see that thing over there. So now I can clear it. Then one more thing, you could see in between the, let me close up the Thanksgiving again. Okay, so in between the Thanksgiving, I brought in another lens flare. So let's bring in that one. Go to select, I want the lens flare to be on top of the Thanksgiving. That is why I selected the Thanksgiving, so that it will come on top of the Thanksgiving. You come to file, come and choose place embedded, then you bring this blue lens flare. All right, okay, so by now you know how to remove that blue background color, this thing. By now you're supposed to know. Double click it, come to your color mode, and then you select screen. Okay, now when you select the screen, you can see still my lens flare, there is this blue thing over here. So you know what to do. Select it, come to your layer side, select it, and then rasterize it. Then you go for your brush tool, okay, or your eraser tool. You select it, then you brush that spacing out. When you are brushing, you have to take your time, okay, so that you don't brush them out. You brush, yes, something like this. Yes, it's quite okay. Then what I did is that, let me also brush it up a little bit again. I think this is quite okay. Then I wanted you see my lens flare is blue, but I wanted the lens flare to be matched with the background, because the background looks like a little bit brownish reddish color. Okay, so what you do is that you press Ctrl U on your keyboard. You have selected the lens flare. You press Ctrl U. Listen very carefully. Control U on the keyboard, Control U, and then this will come, or huge or saturation. All right, if you cannot find huge or saturation, come select the lens flare, come to image on top, on over where you see the file, the edit, come to your image, and then you go to adjustment, and then you select huge or saturation, which is the short form is Control U. You click it, and then you try to manipulate it so that you get the color which will match out to the background. Something like this. It's quite okay. You play along with it. Okay, you play along with it. All right. No, so I can set the lightness to 0. Make sure you set this one to something like this. Yes, I think this is quite okay. Then you copy it, yes, so that it will be brightened like this. All right, something like this is quite okay. Yes, I think I need something like this. It's okay. So what is left again is to bring in our location, the time, and then the venue. Okay, the venue, the time, and everything. Okay, so let's look at that, then we bring our design to an end. Okay, so let's bring in the time, the date, and then the venue. Okay, so the very first thing is for me to bring in the date. Okay, and you see, to bring in the date, I added what we call the vector. Okay, the calendar vector. So let me bring in that one first. Go to file, place, and then bring in this calendar. Okay, double click it. Now when you bring in the calendar, my calendar is having, have you seen that my calendar has covered the whole program or the whole design? So you know what you do, you come to your calendar side, or you can even reduce the calendar and then come and edit it. I want to remove all this white thing from there. So come to your layer side, right click to rasterize, don't forget it. So you rasterize it on the, here is it. Rasterizing means now you can edit this vector calendar. So go and search in for your quick selection tool. That is 1 2 3 4, the fourth tool. Right click it, and then you look for magic wand tool. 1 2 3 4, you right click it, and then you look for the magic wand tool. Select it, any part that you want to remove it, click that part, and then you press backspace or delete on the keyboard, and then it is gone. I want this part to also reduce. You click on it, delete, you press on it, delete, you press on it, you delete it. So you take your time and then you delete them one after the other. Okay, you delete them one after the other. Okay, good. So now that I'm done, and then I'll come and select my move tool. Have you seen that this still, there is this thing, the selection part, it is still moving. So in order for you to let this thing go is to press Control D. Control D, it is gone. Then now you can position, you can now position, select the calendar, and then you position it well. Position it to a place that you want. You bring it somewhere here. Very good. You press, yes, I think my calendar is okay. So I want to change the color of the calendar. Okay, so I'll come select the calendar, come to FX, okay, and then you go in for color overlay, select the color overlay, and then I will change the color to the background, or you pick any color here from this background. You just pick the color here, and then you are good to go. So I've changed it. Then I'll come and add the text, which is the dates. Okay, you change the color of the font, you pick in the same color. All right, then you change the font to poppies, the font size to somewhere 12. You close out the spacing to regular, and then you type in the date, Sunday, maybe 24th July, 24th July, 2022. Okay, then still the font is too big. Let me reduce and pick 8. I think this is okay, and then position it somewhere here. I can go in for 7 because I don't want the date to be big, and then go in for bold because the date is very, very important. Then position the calendar somewhere. Let me open the calendar a little bit. Okay, then close it up, it's too big, and then bring in the date somewhere here. All right, then select the calendar and then position them very well. Make sure it is at the center, and then bring in the venue. Okay, the venue, it is in Christ glory revealed church. Where is the church located? Maybe opposite Elmina filling station, or opposite Elmina station. Let me put it that way, opposite Elmina station. Then I want to center the Christ Glory Revealed Church and then the opposite. So you select everything and then you go in for your center, middle. Okay, set in for the middle, and then I want the church. I want to select only the church. Okay, just select only the name of the church. The opposite is not part. Come and change the font to regular. Okay, and then you press OK, and then you come and position it somewhere here. You can even increase only the church alone, the name of the church. You can select it and increase the font to 8. Okay, so that it will be big, 8, and then you position it well. Position it at the center. Okay, position it at the center, and then underline the church. Underline it. How can I underline? Just come and pick your rectangular tool on your tool side, and then you draw your line. Make sure you draw the line. Don't draw it big, just bring it close. I want a line, so you just use the same. Yes, I think this is okay. Then you change the color to black. Okay, you change the color to black. The font too, I need to change the font to black. I don't need the font this. Let me change the font to black. Only the date, that you can even change the font of the date to also black. Okay, also black. Yes, I want it to be black like this. Then let me close this, and then my rectangle, bring it up. If you select it, so we can bring up. Then what I did is I just edited the rectangle. Okay, rasterize the rectangle, and then go in for your brush tool. I mean, this particular tutorial, if you see this plus, then it means your caps lock is on. Okay, then you brush the mouth or the edges of the rectangle, something like this. I think it's okay. Then you open it up a little bit, you press Ctrl, then you position it. I mean, this is beautiful. You select the church name on the layer side, select the date, select the rectangle, don't pick the calendar, and then you centerize them. The reason why we like center is because we always want the work to be neat. Okay, we want our work to be always neat work. Okay, then let me come and change the color of even the calendar. Select FX, then pick black. Okay, let me pick black. Then you can even choose to add, if the church have a social media handle, or if you can add anything. So let me copy this date, okay, and bring it down here and write maybe info. Okay, info. Maybe if you want to add your info, you want people to call, or you can write come and let's worship God. Then you bring in this. All right, I don't want to pick the bold. I can pick regular. Okay, and then I can space it out, bring it down here, and then I can even select the name of the church, everything, and then make it big. I think this is quite okay. And then let me centerize it to the background, centerize everything. I think this is beautiful. If you have something like this, then it is left with a time. Then we are done. Bring in the time. I chose the ellipse shape, press shift, and then I drew a circle. Change the color to red. Okay, change the color to red, or somehow, I mean the color of the background. I mean you can select the color of the background. Okay, and then come and select your move tool to position it well. Okay, position it well somewhere here. Okay, and then you select your text tool. The time is 7 a.m. okay, any time of your choice, so you can pick 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. all right, and then change the font to bold. Okay, change the font to bold, and then increase the font to 9, and then let me select your move tool before you can bring in there. Okay, it is black, so let me change the font to white so that it can be visible. You could see the font is too big, so let me go in for 8. all right, let me position it well. Very nice. I mean, it's so beautiful and so simple. I mean, this is a very simple church flyer, so much catchy and beautiful. So you can try this for your church. So if you are done, I mean, everything is so beautiful. So go to file, go to save a copy, and then you come and click on the Photoshop PSD, and then you go in for JPEG. This one, JPEG. Where do you want to save the work? Me, I want to save it onto the assignment 1, assignment 3. So I select the folder, and then I've already named it as Thanksgiving flyer. Click on Thanksgiving flyer. Make sure you set it to baseline standard. The maximum, the quality is 12. Then you set it to okay. All right, then let me go and check in for that assignment 3. So here is it. This is my flyer. I mean, it looks so simple and so very catchy. You see, very beautiful. So the church you can send it to people, okay, by WhatsApp, Instagram, and then invite people. All right, please try to just improvise. You can use the name of your church for it. All right, so do the same thing and then send it to the platform for me to see. Please subscribe. Okay, please subscribe. Try to subscribe to this channel for an amazing tutorials. All right, so let me see you in the next video or in our next assignment. Bye.